It's your boy, man, Big Ghost Rider, man. Legal Wars Live, man. You guys know what time it is, man. Listen, bro. Man, I'm out here in Connecticut, bro. It's probably like 30 something degrees out. It's 30 something degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? Still on the We the People tour. Gonna be on the We the People tour to November the 15th. If you guys didn't know, we started out in July 15th. Like when I started the tour, man, I started doing the live streams indoors. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, I did it like a tour earlier this year, the same thing in Wyndham Hotel. So I was like, man, what if I just took what I used to do with Legal Wars? Took what I used to do with Live with Memories Travel, you know what I'm saying? And just go out in nature and not only capture the content of the most beautiful location that I go to in the entire state. You know what I'm saying? If y'all follow the content in the state of Tennessee, man, I went to every single city. Any city of any significance, in the state of Tennessee, man, I went to every city. So I'm coming to your state looking for the most beautiful location in your state. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? So being able to do that and do that for 4 months under any circumstances, I mean, bro, just think about it. What if tomorrow, okay, follow me. What if tomorrow you just gonna be like, hey, look, I'm finna go to California and I'm gonna stay in California for 4 months. And I'm going to go to the most beautiful locations in California. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to set up and I'm going to do live streams, bringing great political content. So as a traveler, me enjoying traveling, man, you know what I'm saying? I would say that was a blessing for me. Real talk, to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Legal Wars Live, I started it probably, I would say, last September. You know what I'm saying? Been going ever since then. You know what I'm saying? So being able to promote the channel too, that's another thing that, like, you know, promoting the channel, doing live streams, I enjoy. Guys, as y'all come into the stream, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the notification bell. More importantly, guys, this morning, Republicans, Independents, Democrats, it don't matter who you are. I need y'all down in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a conversation this morning. Politically, how I want to start off the conversation. Good morning. Good morning. Who is that? Ali Edits. Good morning, Ali Edits. How are you doing? I ask that you double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, please like the video as y'all come into the chat. Man, I need y'all down in the comments. Sigma, what's up, Sigma? Good morning, guys. Y'all double tap the screen, like the video for me. You said you're doing fine. That's good, man. That's real good. Man, I want to have a political conversation with you guys today, man. I want to tell you guys, or y'all could talk, we could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Just drop your comments in the chat. That's what I'm doing this morning. I'll try to do it every now and then. I'm going to try to read every single comment that I can. Ali says fun. Shane says political. Yeah, man, I want to talk about some things. I have some things on my mind that I've been seeing in politics. Where are you, in which place? I'm in Connecticut right now. You know what I'm saying? Out here doing this live stream. I want to talk about some things on my mind politically. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I want to talk about is a civil war within the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? That's the very first thing I want to talk about. You got the established Democrats, you know, like Nancy Pelosi. How many of us know Nancy Pelosi? She used to be the Speaker of the House. She is the establishment. And then you have the progressives. And the progressives are rising, bro. They really are. Y'all see Mandami in New York, that speech he made last night? He's about to be a mayor of New York. Think about that. You are about to have a progressive candidate, a straight progressive candidate. Not only is Mandami progressive, and don't take this as any hate towards him at all, because I'm not hating on him at all. I think he is a transformational candidate. The way he governs, we're going to find out. But if he does a great job governing, I think this is what I'm trying to say, y'all. If Mandami wins New York City, which he probably will, he will become the mayor of America's largest city. Think about that. Think about the progressives, how far they came, how hard they fought, and to be able to become mayor of America's largest city. Like, I'm thinking in my mind that the progressives are about to take over the Democratic Party. I really believe that. They have an active attempt right now. AOC and Bernie Sanders are going to be in charge of the Democratic Party. They're calling the shots. The government is shut down right now. That's part of them calling the shots. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says job in Canada. I'm not sure, sir, what you mean about job in Canada. Me personally, if you ask it, I don't need a job. I'm a disabled veteran. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, the reason why I don't have a news story for you guys this morning is because I got some casework to do. I own a business, a Miller Legal, been highly profitable. I got active cases and I have casework on an active case to do right now. Discovery. It's called Discovery. Once you get back and forth trading information with the attorneys on the case, yeah. So, I mean, you said people tell me to get a job. That is my job. I sue people for a living. That's what I do. I got 2 cases right now. I got 2 more to file. I mean, I got 3 cases right now. I got 2 more to file. 2 cases I care about, but I got 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know what you mean by job, and I don't know what you mean by Canada. And then you guys hadn't even liked the video, man. You know what I'm saying? You in here kicking it, man. I ask that you'll like the video. If you in here kicking it and chilling with ghosts, man, I don't see why you guys aren't showing support. Unless you just in here for a different, yeah, you feel me? Unless you just in here for a different reason, then to hear the content. But that being said, man, like I'm gonna keep going on to where I was going, man, with my train of thoughts. Man, I really believe that the progressives are about to take over the Democratic Party. That's what I believe. If you guys don't know, Nancy Pelosi, she has a challenger right now. Hold up, I'm finna look it up for you. Nancy Pelosi. We gonna do this story real quick. Nancy. And the reason why I start with Nancy Pelosi, because she is the establishment. Okay? She is the Democratic establishment. So let's start with Nancy Pelosi. Okay? So Nancy Pelosi, hold up. Let's go to, we gonna do the San Francisco. Nah. I like the title of this story better, y'all. Hold on real quick. Let me do this story. I'm gonna just touch on a bunch of different conversations this morning, but I'm gonna talk about President Trump being in Asia. I'm gonna talk about a few different things, but I wanted to start a freestyle stream talking about the thing that I thought was the most interesting. And that's the major party, the Democratic Party, is being taken over by progressives. Listen, they have 1,000 candidates. Bernie Sanders and AOC, he says 1,000 candidates that they are running nationwide. And they're running Democrats and they're running independents, but they're progressives. And Mandami is the biggest example in New York. That's the largest city. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much one of the biggest races, or the biggest race that you could get outside of governorship. You know what I'm saying? And he about to win there. That lets me think. And then with this, let me talk about Nancy Pelosi. So if you guys didn't know, Nancy Pelosi is probably one of the most popular Democrats been there for a while. Speaker of the House under President Trump. If I'm not mistaken, she was the first female speaker. Let me get this comment and I'm going to get into this news story. So let's see. Davos says challenge, nah, replacement. She's too darn old and clearly corrupt. She's got to go. I'm going to pin that comment because that's what I'm looking for. Please like the video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell. Look, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this about her being old 10,000%. And I think that's why the Democrats lost. I mean, you think about who's leading this charge. Bernie Sanders. How old is Bernie Sanders? He old as President Trump and an old man leading this charge. But he has a vision. He has the correct vision. Talking about progressives, Nancy Pelosi, California. You know what I'm saying? You guys might not look at it like this, but you got New York City and over here, well, let's just say the East Coast. Okay, let's just say New England. You got New England. Over here in New England, you have Bernie and you have AOC and Mandami starting to mount up. You know what I'm saying? Out west is the most of the establishments. You heard VP Harris say she's a capitalist. Mandami isn't a capitalist. He's a socialist. That's what he proclaims to be. Andrew Cuomo, who's running against Mandami, he actually came out and he said that Mandami didn't even support VP Harris in her presidential campaign. You know what I'm saying? So it's a rift between Democrats, and that's what I wanted to start off by talking about. This article I'm reading to you is coming from SF Gate, San Francisco. The world has changed. Scott Reiner to run for Pelosi's Congress seat. Y'all hear that? Let me read it to you so y'all can understand. What's up, Timothy Taylor? How y'all doing? If y'all have not already, I ask that y'all double tap the screen, like the video for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the notification bell. Jump down in the comments, guys. Whatever y'all want to talk about politically, you could drop your comment down below. I'm going to try to read it. Let me get this story out, though. State Senator Scott Wiener announced Wednesday he will run for Congress in 2026, despite previously saying he will wait until longtime Representative Nancy Pelosi retires. So Nancy Pelosi is getting challenged. It's a Democrat who's challenging her. I'm running for Congress because San Franciscans deserve a leader who could stand up to Trump's extremist agenda. I'm saying, why? So, Mr. Wiener, you saying that Pelosi hadn't stood up to his agenda? This moment deserves backbone and hard work that delivers results and makes people's lives better. That's what I've brought to every fight in my decades of public service in San Francisco and Sacramento, and I want to bring that to Washington. In a phone call with SF Gate on Wednesday morning, after his public announcement, Wiener said his previously stated intention to not run against Pelosi wasn't a promise. He said he has talked to the Congresswoman recently, but he will not disclose the details of their conversations. Not only is she being challenged by Wiener, she's being challenged by someone else. So what I'm telling you guys, if you guys are listening and paying attention, I'm saying something. If you're talking about Nancy Pelosi, bro, she's a lion in American politics. Let's look it up. How long has Nancy Pelosi been in Congress? How long has Nancy Pelosi been in Congress? She's probably the most famous Democrat that they have outside of the most famous established Democrat. So who I got down here? I got Hamita says, what's up, how y'all doing? As y'all coming to the stream, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, I ask y'all subscribe to the channel. Nancy Pelosi has served in the House of Representatives, guys. 1962, she married Paul. They moved to New York. Let's see, in 1987, Nancy Pelosi has served in the House in California's 11th Congressional District. Okay. The second longest, her 20 years as a House party leader are tied with Joe Martin's as the second longest after Sam Rayburn. So it is clear that Nancy Pelosi is the establishment and she's being challenged, guys. She is being challenged. Let's talk about the progressives. Let's see. Progressives and Bernie Sanders running 1,000 candidates nationwide. When I heard Bernie say that, man, I was like, man, they finna take over. You know what I'm saying? So this story comes from Politico. If you guys want to research it, you know what I'm saying, look it up for yourselves, because I think this is the gist of this first part that I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you guys at any time, y'all could jump down in the comments and y'all could get we could get a conversation going on anything you guys want to talk about politically. But this story was published on May the 8th of 2025 about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who has been calling for progressives to run for office on his Fighting Oligarchy tour, is putting more organizational muscle behind his appeal. The Vermont senator is teaming up with liberal group Run for Something and other outside organizations to provide support to potential candidates, according to plans shared first with Politico. Guys, Bernie Sanders started his own political party. You know what I'm saying? He like the old mad scientist, bro, the old genius. Bernie Sanders has started a political party. There ain't no news announcements. You ain't gonna hear CNN talking about this. You ain't gonna have Fox News talking about this. But Bernie Sanders said he is about to take over the Democratic Party. He pulling the cool, baby. The Vermont senator, he teamed up with Run Something and other organizations to provide support for political candidates. Who provides support for political candidates? A party. If you a Democrat and you running for Congress in Missouri, who you gonna look for support as a candidate? The Democratic Party. So I'm saying Bernie Sanders, he done teamed up with Run for Something while him and AOC out here doing this Fighting Oligarchy tour. They meeting young people, energized and charged up, progressives. Bernie Sanders been pulling 20,000 people crowds for years. At one point, when Hillary was running for president, she was doing, like, I love Hillary now. Trust me. She was doing her crowds and events, bro. She'd get what, 2,000 to 5,000 people on a normal crowd or less. Bernie was pulling crowds of 10, 15, 20,000. There's progressives all over America. I'm going to look up some data too. Some of this stuff I'm going to touch later in the week, but not as clear as I'm doing it right now, focusing on just this. I'm going to look up some data with you guys too, also to show you that the Democratic Party do not like capitalism. The majority of Democrats are okay with socialism. But we're going to talk about that in a second, okay? The effort, if successful, could help push the party at least incrementally in Sanders' direction, inch by inch. When I was listening to Bernie Sanders talk, Bernie Sanders said, hey, man, he said, should we start a third political party? He said, we might could do that, but he said they won't be successful. So he said, what he gonna do? Pretty much, he didn't say it, but what he's saying, he gonna take over the Democratic Party. It is almost certain to draw the ire of some Democrats, as Sanders and some of his allies help both Democrats and independents run for office. What I tell you. More than 5,000. I heard Bernie say 1,000. More than 5,000 people have signed up with Sanders' operation to explore campaigns. So out of those 5,000 people that signed up, Bernie Sanders got 1,000 candidates running across America. Y'all tell me that's not news. So the Democratic Party of Barack Obama with Nancy Pelosi at the helm, I think in the Senate, didn't they have a Republican leader in the Senate? And those Democratic senators, all those established Democrats, they trying to get them out and reinsert a new Democratic Party. And in this Democratic Party, AOC gonna be king. In this Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders gonna be king. Progressives, they taking over. We want to make sure that we're not just going into these spaces and holding rallies and disappearing, and we're not just asking people to run for office. Jeremy Sleevan, a top Sanders advisor, we're giving them the tools that they need to actually do it. Yeah, that's a political party. Right after, listen to me, guys, if y'all ain't here with me, let me see. Masonette says, bro, Bernie 2 weeks from being too old to drive. Yeah, he is, bro. That's a good question. That's what I'm saying. The oldest man possible you have leading the charge, he's leading the charge. Let me tell you something. Right after President Trump beat the Democrats felt defeated. This ain't no knock on VP Harris. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying she hired Obama people and Biden people. She hired establishment people to run her campaign, but they lost. Okay? Y'all could try to say VP Harris lost, whatever y'all want to say. The people she hired to run her campaign, they lost. Point blank, period. Okay? So while the Democrats are feeling defeated, most Democrats are feeling defeated. Not all Democrats. Who stood up to fight? Gavin Newsom. Me thinking that Governor Newsom is just a regular establishment candidate, I was wrong about that. No, he is not. Governor Newsom is part of that progressive movement. So I'm saying, who's standing up to fight the Republicans? Look, I salute Hakeem Jeffries. If you ask me and I looked at Hakeem, though, I would think Hakeem was part of the establishment. Chuck Schumer, he fighting. You see what I'm saying? But I would think that Chuck Schumer's a part of the establishment. The Democrats who got the heart and the courage to fight, the Democrats who got the fresh ideas are the progressives. As a Christian, you ask me, okay, Ghost, you not being serious. Progressives, as a Christian, and we talk about progressive and their morals, okay? What's the difference between AOC morals and Nancy Pelosi? The moral issue, there's no difference. The issue really between the establishment and the progressives are economics. It's not mainly about moral issues, okay? Because Nancy Pelosi supports transgenders' rights, just like AOC. She supports gay marriage, just like AOC. So there's no big movement and moral issues between a progressive and a Democrat. Understand that. The movement between a progressive and a Democrat are on mostly economical issues. That's where you're going to find the biggest differences. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is who had the courage to fight? Who had the strength to fight against President Trump? It's the progressives. Tell me where I'm wrong. Bro, I heard all these little Democrat podcasters. I don't want to call your name, David Pakman. I heard all these Democratic podcasts. I don't want to call all of them names. But I heard, oh, the Democrats don't have a message. Oh, it's over with. Oh, we lost. Oh, they sitting there crying. Defeated. Look, instead of championing the rights of the people like AOC does and never stop doing, instead of championing the rights of the people like Bernie Sanders does and never stop doing, the Democrats, they forgot about the people and their message became about President Trump. That was their message. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, my boy, the Beefcake says, Kamala, he says, Southgate can help us get through this crisis. Slot isn't cut out for the premium ghost. And then Jimmy says, what are you even talking about in the chat? I know that's what I'm saying, Jimmy. I don't even understand what they're talking about. Look, this is what I'm saying. But if you guys have some comments, I'm going to try to read as many of them as I can, okay? This is what I'm saying. So I'm saying the Democrats, the established Democrats, they challenged President Trump. They've been running the party. Someone like AOC, who's probably the most popular young Democrat with the biggest following on social media, when it's her turn to step up for leadership, Nancy Pelosi, she shooter. She flung her to the back. And she put in Chuck Schumer. Make that make sense. We talk about the presidency. I heard stories of Nancy Pelosi shoo-shooing Bernie Sanders and bringing in Hillary and bringing in Joe Biden. Just she was against Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders said, it's time now. I'm clapping back. So Nancy Pelosi, being the leader of the Democratic Party, she went against President Trump. We all know the stories. We all heard the stories about January the 6th and who was supposed to call in troops and whose job it was to secure and all this and all that. But through all of that, through everything the Democrats was doing, y'all follow me, okay? I'm not finished yet. I hadn't even got started. It's just 25 minutes. We're going to change the conversation. I'm going to go into Governor Newsom, and then I'm going to go into different content. Listen, out of all the things the Democrats were doing, let's take this back to when we taking it back. Let's take it back to when President Trump first ran for office. Okay? So let's go back to 2015. In 2015, Nancy Pelosi, under President Obama, right? She was still a leader of the Democrats establishment. Okay? So President Trump come into office, they impeach him one time. They didn't get him. They tried to impeach him twice. They didn't get him. January 6th happened. And after January 6th happened, then their whole thing was to lock him in jail. President Trump has said publicly, you know what I'm saying, that the Attorney General, he said even Letitia James, he said Fannie Willis, they used to go to the White House. They were going to the White House to get briefings. The White House, Fannie Willis, and then she go back to Atlanta and put charges on President Trump. So he said he felt like the establishment was out to get him. And I've said this for the entire time. While David Pacman and them was saying they missing the point, the Democrats ain't never lose message. I saw Abby Phillip do an interview on Jake Tapper, and she was talking about Jesse Jackson. And if you listen at what Jesse Jackson was saying, y'all go back, listen to Ghost. Abby Phillips, she put it on point. And she brought she connected the ends for me. If you listen, go back to 1984 and you listen to Jesse Jackson, that message that Bernie Sanders is giving today is almost identical to what Jesse Jackson was saying in 1984. That's the beginning of the progressive movement today as we know it. That message that Bernie Sanders was given in 2015 when he ran for president, and 2019 when he ran for president, the message that he was given, that's the same message that he's giving today. See, if the established Democrats lost a message, I don't know what their message ever was. Because that message that Bernie Sanders given, in my opinion, that's the same way President Obama won the White House. I'm working for you, for the little man, the working man. I'm working for the people. That's how President Obama won the White House. It's the same message from 1984, and Bernie Sanders giving the same message today. The Democrats, it's not that they don't have a message or they lost the message, they got off message. Point blank, period. And the establishment Democrats, they made their message about Trump. Lock up President Trump. That's all they was concerned with doing, was locking up President Trump. They got off message. So I guess what Bernie Sanders and them is saying that, hey, as progressive goes, we never got off message. So after the Democrats tried against President Trump, I mean, they threw the book at him, did they not? You got 5 indictments. You got 34 felony convictions, charges. You got 2 attempted assassination attempts. I'm talking about, I'm not saying the Democrats did that, but I'm saying there was an active effort to do away with him. He beat him. He overcome. So come November, December, January, into February, the Democrats were demoralized. Demoralized. The establishment, y'all didn't hear it. Y'all didn't hear the talk on the streets. was that the Democrats was through. President Trump trying to stomp them out. Finish. So in February, what happens? In March, in April, when the Democrats say they're going to come back, who leading the charge? Bernie Sanders, with that same message that he had in 2015. Here come Big Bernie. Here come AOC with the Fighting Oligarchy tour. And when they did the tour, especially going to California, I know Governor Newsom sitting in the governor's mansion. You got to think at this time the Democrat they stumped out. They finished President Trump stumping them. He finished stumped them out. Where Nancy Pelosi at? Where Hakeem Jeffries at? Where Chuck Schumer at? Stumped out. VP Harris had to go home, and President Trump, president. They running the Supreme Court. They running the House of Representatives, and they running the Senate. He won everything. The establishment stomped out. But you know what happened? Here come the old lion. Somebody said down there, good morning, Mike Huff. Here come the old lion. Somebody said that Bernie Sanders too old to drive. He ain't too old to do political rallies, though. Was he too old to do political rallies? No, he was not. Because come February, March, April, the Democrats come back from the dead. Bernie Sanders brought them back. I know Governor Newsom sitting up in the governor's mansion out in Cali. And he watching Bernie and AOC come to Los Angeles, and there's 80,000 people. 80, listen to me, get the wax out your ears. This is after President Trump stumped them out and they thought they were dead. Who they call? I don't know if the establishment called them. I don't know if the DNC called them. I don't know who called them. But they said, Nancy Pelosi, madam, your days have come and gone. You out of there. Chuck Schumer, baby, you on the clock. Hakeem, he's still kind of young. And if he could rock with the progressives, even though you might look at him as an establishment candidate, he's the only thing left to give the establishment a balance. Because what I'm telling y'all is, man, the progressives are about to take over America's largest city. Bang. There you have it. I'm telling y'all what Politico said, and Bernie says that they got over 1,000 candidates. Listen to me. Sanders has encouraged people to run from office, but some progressives in his orbit have complained in the past that he hasn't done enough to prepare those in the movement for a post-Sanders future. So they're preparing for after Senator Sanders is too old to do this. But Senator Sanders says, before we get there, before I get too old, before I bail out, he 83 years old. He appears to be attempting to burnish that part of his legacy, including by touring the country recently with younger progressives and populists such as Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Good morning, Titan Brew. He says, we need progressive young people running this country. People with true skin in the game, like AOC. People who used to be a server. She was a server. She wasn't a lawyer. She wasn't rich. She didn't come from some political dynasty. She was a regular person like me and you, working in a restaurant, serving tables. She understands what you're going through. When them health premiums get too high, guys, let's be real. President Trump, I don't got nothing against you. You hear that? Where Don Trump at? I ain't got nothing against your daddy, homeboy. This ain't nothing personal. And I ain't doing nothing for clout. And I never suck up to nobody. I ain't doing nothing for clout, and I never suck up to nobody. But what I'm trying to say is, though, is President Trump, Don, is a billionaire. When the last time President Trump went to Walmart and it wasn't a campaign stop? When the last time President Trump looked at a bill? When the last time he paid his insurance premium? Not that he don't care about the people. He just ain't going through what we going through. He don't know. How President Trump know what the price of houses are? You people can't afford. How will he know that? Who he gonna ask? He gonna ask JD Vance? Y'all think JD broke? He gonna ask Scott B. Y'all think Scott B broke? President Trump got more billionaires. Look, that's a good thing to make money, and they made America a whole lot of money. But I'm saying the people though. You don't have nobody among you who understands the people and what the people going through. What Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she does. And Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California, he's also, and Chris Dullozo, who's a Democrat from Pennsylvania. So these are the progressives, guys. It is really exciting to see Bernie's model bringing in a new generation of leaders for all those other older Democrats. That's what Amanda Littman, president of Run for Something. She argued that it is not enough to just be in front. You got to build a power that sticks behind you. So she's saying it's not just enough to have a president, a Democratic power leader, but you got to have the Senate and the Congress. So that's where they're going to start with, is the Senate and the Congress. And Bernie Sanders, he's doing this. He sent the email to his supporter, and he's been recruiting candidates, and he held a Zoom call with people who are on the run. Y'all can't see this? I know you turn on the TV, and I know we talking about anything to do with governing. We're going to be talking about President Trump and the Republicans. But behind the scenes, Bernie Sanders, he's doing a lot of work. Potential contenders 40 and under are being connected with Run for Something. Listen, you got Mandami is a perfect example of their work. Mandami is he is the manifestation of the Fighting Oligarchy tour, right? He's the manifestation of when the Democratic establishment got stumped out. Who rose to fight? Who rose to the scene? Who rose to power? Bernie came up. He brought the Democratic Party back, and now they running it. Bernie Sanders in control. AOC is in charge. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If Chuck Schumer caves in and don't stand 10 on that Democratic shut, he gone. He out of there. They're going to primary him. They're going to get him out of there. Because Bernie Sanders and AOC, they feel that the only real way that you could fight against President Trump is by fighting against President Trump. Not shoo-shooing and foo-fooing on policies. It's about the policies. The message is the people. That's the message. You guys getting that? Y'all feeling that? Okay, that's the first 35 minutes. I'm just framing it. Now, since we talked about that, y'all, let me get down here in the comments. Now, I'm going to tell y'all about Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom is the youngest in charge. Believe that. Governor Gavin Newsom is the youngest in charge. Believe that. Listen, Governor Newsom, if he run for president, I think AOC will probably just have a conversation with him or two to make sure he's going to govern on the lines that she's looking for, her and Bernie Sanders. And then after that, I think they'll support him full throttle. Let's look up Governor Newsom right here. I want to show y'all something. Governor Newsom. We're going to say, is Governor Newsom a progressive? Is Governor Newsom a progressive? Because that's where I wanted to get to Governor Newsom, and then we're going to talk about something else. Okay, let's see. The New York Post. Let's see. Governor Newsom finally confirms his 2028 presidential ambition. This is the New York Post, and it was published 21 hours ago. A fresh news story. Y'all, I'm doing this on the day that this is just fan day. But I'm telling you, like, you don't understand that. President Trump is overseas. He made a deal. The framework, him and Scott B with China. I think they're going to come up with a deal. The stock market has entered new record territory. I predicted earlier that the stock market was going to hit record territory. It has hit new record territory. But there's a lot of problems left to be dealt with on the home front. And if the Democrats stay addressing those problems, I think they'll be really, really good. Piece of God says, MAGA fouls. I'm sorry. I gotta post that. If he said something about the Democrats like that, I would too. He said MAGA fouls have no clue how the economy works. Hey, listen, but before you go into the MAGA files and the Jeffrey Epstein, now there's some Democrats on that list too, though. That's why I say I think that crime doesn't see a political party. A criminal is a criminal. A Republican who's not a criminal, he sees a political party. He chose to be a Republican. And when the situation come up to where it's got anything to do, see, a criminal gonna be a criminal. Whatever he committing a crime in, he committing a crime in the name of whatever. I see people commit crimes in the name of God, literally, dead serious. You have too. You hadn't heard of nobody killing in the name of God before. I see people commit crimes in the name of everything. They just criminals with an excuse. If I'm a Republican, or say I'm a Democrat, okay, and I know Charlie Kirk is what has been killing us. He training all the young people. He turning all the young people Republicans. I know Charlie Kirk has been killing us. If I'm a Democrat, okay, and I'm not a criminal, then he'll never be under threat because I'm not a criminal. I'm a Democrat. I'm not a criminal. But if I'm a criminal, then being a Democrat, whether you're a Democrat, none of that matters. What you need to focus on is the mentality of the person. If the person say that, oh, okay, so Charlie Kirk, if that person would do something to Charlie Kirk over his political views, you think that's the first crime they ever committed? No. Ain't no Democrats, and no Democrats are evil. It was a man who plotted to kill Hakeem Jeffries. The minority leader for the Democrats and the Speaker of the House, they just caught somebody. I don't know if he was MAGA or not, but the Department of Justice said they caught a man who was attempting to assassinate the Speaker of the House for the Democrats. He a Republican. Is he evil? It's about crime. You see what I'm saying? It's about crime, and it don't got nothing to do with no political party. Because, see, like I was saying, as a Democrat, seeing Charlie Kirk, and I know he the biggest problem to us, he'd be completely safe around me because I'm not a criminal. I'm going to think of 1,000 ways to beat him, and none of them be a crime. I'm going to think of 10,000 ways to stomp on him, and 0 going to be a crime. None of it will be illegal because I'm not a criminal. You see what I'm saying? So there's the majority of Democrats in America, 99% of them are just like that. They're not criminals. The majority of the Republicans, 99% of them in America, they're not criminals. But you have that faction of the Republican Party, like the Proud Boys. They ain't just criminals, they convicted criminals. You have the faction of the Democrats, like President Trump is saying, Antifa. You have factions that might engage in criminal activity, but you can't say the whole party. It's just the person. If a person is a criminal and gonna commit a crime, it don't matter what party they in. I appreciate that comment. Let's see. Eric says it was Democrats. Let's see. Tony says Trump said he bring them. Oh, okay. So that's what we're going to talk about. And see, I'm setting up for the live streams later on this week. You know what I'm saying? What Tony says is that Trump said he's going to bring down inflation in his first term. Obama responded, does Trump have a magic wand? He's saying Democrats are clueless economically. Is that what you believe? Maybe that's what America believes. You know what I'm saying? We finna get talking about Governor Newsom. This is what I heard Bernie Sanders say. Where's that at? Okay, listen, I pinned it. This is what I heard Bernie Sanders say. I heard Bernie said that President Trump, at least he admits that America has a problem. Y'all hear that? At least President Trump will admit that America has a problem. That's what Bernie said. Now, Bernie says the way President Trump goes around about fixing it is wrong. But what Bernie said is you got a Republican and a Democrat. He said the Democrat was trying to act like everything was okay. I got two people who's running for my leaders. Our house is on fire. Everybody can see our house is on fire, right? President Trump is acknowledging our house is on fire. The Democrats are saying ain't no problem. You got a $38 trillion debt. You saying we don't have a problem? That's Bernie is smart enough to recognize that. So what Bernie's saying is he's going to adapt or adopt, which he has to, that we do need to fix things in America, but he's going to do it from a progressive standpoint, not from a conservative standpoint. Y'all feel that? And I think that was the biggest thing this election cycle, what Bernie said. President Trump was going around saying that, hey, y'all, we do have problems. We got problems in America. That's facts. We have plenty of problems in America. That's 1,000% fact. So being able to recognize that and to admit it, I guess whoever's running President Biden's campaign, they sit back and they think, or Vice President Kamala's campaign, whoever's running her campaign, I guess they just sit back and they just saying, well, if we say that we got problems, we the incumbent party, won't we get blamed? So maybe that's why they were saying that there's no problem. But I'm saying that role is finna reverse, and we finna talk about Governor Newsom. Because President Trump in 4 years, I don't care how good he do, he's not going to solve $38 trillion deficit. He might fix the economy or he might not. We're going to see. Today, America is sharing jobs, but the stock market looks good. Today, inflation ain't getting lower. The cost of living ain't getting lower, but the stock market looks good. He bringing in a lot of investments into the American economy. He might fix the economy or he might not, but let's just say he do. But we still gonna have problems in America. We still gonna have a $38 trillion debt. Immigration might not be that bad, but we still will have enough issues to where the Democrats could point out the promises that President Trump wasn't able to keep and try to capitalize on that. So this story that I'm bringing to you right now, this news story real quick, is from the New York Post. California Governor Gavin Newsom has finally concerned. He's looking at a 2028 presidential bid. Governor Newsom is going to run for president in 2028. He's going to. 10,000%. I can't say it's way too early to predict, but what I'm saying is Governor Newsom is the most popular, in my opinion, outside of maybe AOC, Democrat in America right now. Everyone knows him all over America. He's got a podcast, guys. He's a very intelligent man. I mean, he really campaigning right now for president. Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise, Governor Newsom told CBS in a pre-tape interview if he was considering a White House campaign. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you guys something. Some things about Governor Newsom I didn't know that I found out yesterday. I think Governor Newsom is a cool cat, man. He a really cool dude. I do. We see that he's a fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? He swung through early key states such as South Carolina and launched a podcast, honed his debate skills, sparring with conservatives. That man is gearing up. He turned his social media handles into troll accounts against President Trump. He gearing up, y'all. Governor Newsom finna run for president. Look, this is what I want to find out. Would y'all classify? I'm going to ask the chat right now. I'm going to ask you guys. Would you guys classify Governor Newsom as a progressive? That's what I was looking for. Is he a progressive? That's what I'm looking for. I know, to me, if you are look, okay, after all that hoopla I just gave y'all, I'm gonna say this one thing, guys, and then we can move on. We could talk about President Trump, whatever y'all want to talk about. I just wanted to get that out. It took about 50 minutes. I haven't been in the chat as much, but I will in a second. Look, this one I want to say, and I think this is very important. Okay, I'm freestyling this. This ain't no story. I ain't got nothing wrote. But tomorrow, Tuesday through Saturday, from 8 a.m. Eastern time, every single day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out there in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Or somewhere by a beautiful lake. Try to get a beautiful lake, bringing y'all the content. But today I'm just freestyle. I'm supposed to be down in the chat. I just wanted to get this off my chest. So listen, this is according to the USA Today. Governor Newsom's angling for a Democratic presidential nominee. Okay, he's trying to appeal to voters. So he's talked about health care coverage for migrants. He's talked about clear the homeless encampments in California. He had conversations with Charlie Kirk on Turning Point USA. But this is what USA's Today saying. He can't escape his record or the record of other California Democrats, okay? Let's see. Based on, let's see. They talking about some other stuff. I want to stay on Governor Newsom. Let's see. They're talking about a bill which is not important to me. Homeless crisis, another sign of failed progressive policy. When visiting Los Angeles, I am always saddened by the extraordinary people in the city, more than 45,000 who are struggling with homelessness. Look, I think Governor Newsom, I think like not just homelessness, I think there's a couple of issues that you have in California that you should definitely try to clean up as much as possible. Me personally. But Governor Newsom right now, I would say probably would be one of the people that you would expect to be a leading candidate for Democrat. And like in a situation with Governor Newsom, he can move to the right. We've seen him move to the right, slide to the right. In a general, you think you should slide to the right, right? As a progressive in New York City, where you have 5 blue voters for every 1 red voter. Think about that. The Democrats outnumbered the Republicans 5-1 in New York City. So in a city like that, you can have a Mandami who's he's saying he's a democratic socialist. He never planned on running for president. He wasn't born in the United States. So the highest office he'll probably run for, unless he gets a job in somebody's cabinet, the highest office he'll probably run for will probably be governor of New York. And that'd probably be the end of his political career as far as him running for politics. But someone like Mandami, he could just be all the way out there. I'm a democratic socialist. And in New York, that's not going to hurt him. But in a presidential general election in the United States, a presidential election, you see what I'm saying? Someone like Governor Newsom, even if he's a progressive, he's got to be able to move to the right, son. Because Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or whoever gets that Republican nomination, they're going to be trying to paint him out like he a communist, like they doing with Mandami. That's what they have always done to progressives, saying that their views are radical and too far to the left. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Let me get a couple of comments down here, but I want to let you guys know that America is moving to the left. How far America's going to swing to the left, I don't know, but America's going to move to the left. Let's see. That's what I'm saying. Titan Bruce says, why do people think that criminals are politically active? Some of them are, actually. Some of them, I would say, are politically active. Real talk. They are. Some of them they get down into politics like anyone else. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't say that a party is evil or a party is I just wouldn't classify an entire party like that. Because there's people, plenty of people in the Democratic Party who don't commit crimes, who will never commit a crime. There's plenty of people in the Republican Party who wouldn't either. It's just those people are criminals. Y'all feel that? They just straight criminals. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that you guys will like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Piece of God says Dems have done more for the economy with their trade deals and social programs to help people get jobs like Job Corps. To get jobs like Job Corps. Maybe so. Let's see. Titan Bruce says inflation hurts private sector businesses and drives up private sector prices. The president has zero control over private sector prices. Maybe so, Titan Bruce. But I'm saying you can't come out. The problem is, Titan Brew, is that you came out and told the American people that you were going to lower the price of goods on day one. You told them you was going to do it. Titan Brew, what you just said is facts. It's true. But that's what President Trump should have said. This is what he should have said. Inflation, you guys, I can't do President Trump's voice. Oh, y'all, it hurts private sector businesses and drives up private sector prices. But I don't have no control. What you think if he was saying? That's basically what VP Harris was saying. That the government, unless you're in a socialist government, the government cannot control Walmart hijacking prices. Not hating on Walmart. Walmart's probably not going to do it. But if your mom and pop's grocery store that's very popular in your rural community or in the city, across the street, if they say, hey, tomorrow, guys, these can of peaches that was $2, we gonna make them $5. So if this grocery store makes them fall, yeah, there was a freeze down the street, so we couldn't get in all the fruit in, so we had to jack up the price. If this grocery store is finna jack up the prices, y'all, why won't that grocery store? Y'all tell me why. And I'm saying that the government, is hard for them to control that. That's what Mandami's talking about. That's what VP Harris said. She was talking about government regulation on the price of goods. I'm going to talk about that in just, let me do that right now, okay? So I gave y'all and told y'all how the progressives coming back. They finna take over the party. Okay, they got 1,000 candidates running again nationwide. They trying to get rid of Pelosi. They probably gonna try to primary Schumer. They do what President Trump and MAGA's doing. Bernie's doing it. I just don't know the name of his. Maybe it's fighting oligarchy. Bernie he ain't gave him a name. You know what I'm saying, Bernie? You need to holler at Big Ghost, and I'm gonna give y'all. I could put that shine on that movement for you, just like President Trump did with MAGA. You put a name, a catchy name on that movement. You get people. But look. I'm not getting paid to do that. Let me do this, okay? So what we were talking about is, hold up, I want to keep this conversation because I'm freestyling it, right? We were talking about how the government or the president doesn't have control over the price of goods. But we were talking about how President Trump, he should realize that, but that's not what he said. So I'm saying, if I was a Democrat, what Titan Bruce said right there, he said 70% of economic activity in the U.S. happens in Democratic counties. That's so true. Leaving 30% of economic activity to the Republican county. Look, this is what I'm saying, Titan Bruce. You must be, because the stuff you saying, I'm saying you need to put because what you saying, that's true. Look at if you see economic growth or job hiring in the United States last month, the 3 states that led the United States, they're all Democratic states. You talking Cali, you talking Massachusetts, and I forgot the 3rd state. They all blue states. The states with the most money, I would say probably outside of Texas. But if you go into Texas, where the money at, the real money at in Houston and Dallas and in Austin, those are all blue cities. They all blue. Everything blue where the money at in America. That's facts. Think about how vast America is, right? Outside of the cities is rural. How much money you gonna see in rural Alabama, or rural Mississippi, or rural Tennessee, or rural Louisiana, or for that matter, rural Texas? The money's in the cities. He absolutely correct. 10,000%. Hold up, I seen somebody say something about Kim Jong Un. It's protection because Piece of guy says Trump act like Kim Jong. Nah, Vladimir Putin acting like Kim Jong Un. Vladimir. How many of y'all? I don't want to change the subject, guys, because I really want to stay on this. I think it's important. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all heard about Vladimir testing a nuclear missile? Did y'all know that? Vladimir Putin tested a nuclear missile. Bro, I hope President Trump don't fall for that, man. President Trump, you can't be a strong man and be scary at the same time. You can't be both of them. You can't be a strong man and don't have the right discernment at the same time. See, what'll happen is Vladimir, he'll get on the phone and he'll talk to President Trump and he'll try to sweet talk and smooth talk President Trump. And President Trump think it's working and he's sweet and smooth talking with him. And then as soon as Vladimir get off the phone with President Trump, he launched missiles and rockets into Ukraine. He go kill some kids. He go shoot missiles at a hospital. President Trump pick up the phone with him the second time. Hey, Vladimir, we gonna be friends? Can we stop this war? And piece of God, Titan Brew, what'd he do? He shot more rockets. He went and killed he went and blew up a hospital in Ukraine. President Trump will call him and ask him to stop the war, stop fight. He blow up. Okay, so Vladimir say, oh, okay, so, President Trump, I got President Trump under my thumb. So he think he got President Trump under his thumb. But, Marco Rubio, several other people like me, big ghostwriter, we understand the moves. We know who Vladimir is. He ain't nothing but an old convict criminal. That's all he is. A Russian mobster. That's all you are, Vladimir. I'll tell you to your face if I could. I'm not scared of none of you. I'm not scared of not one Russian. I'm just going to die. I'm not scared of none of y'all. I'm going to speak the truth. That's what God sent me to do. And so Vladimir Putin is just a warmonger, criminal, mafia dude. He ain't nothing. So what he does is, y'all, if you guys don't know, well, he trying to sweet talk President Trump to get President Trump off of him. But this time, after President Trump said he was going to meet with him, Marco's smart. I like Marco. Marco probably got on the phone. He called that Lavrov dude in Russia. They Secretary of State dude. So y'all, we finna foreign minister. We finna get up with President Trump. So y'all ready for peace, right? And he found out he wasn't ready for peace. So he called President Trump and Marco said, man, you just gonna go over there and waste your time. He making you look like a clown. He said, we can't meet with him. He ain't trying to have no peace. So President Trump canceled the meeting. And he put sanctions on Russia. I'm going to salute him where he's due. That ain't sucking up to him. That's not called sucking up. You just got to be real to understand what real is. Like Bernie said, that's how you going to win, by being real. President Trump was just more real, or he came across as more real to the people. So they just took him as being more genuine. But that's how you going to win, is by being genuine. So President Trump, he put sanctions on Russia. Tough ones. Sanctions that Joe Biden wouldn't do. Oh, man. Putin couldn't believe that. Putin couldn't believe it, boy. Oh, man. His feelings hurt now. My buddy, President Trump, he's not falling for my lies. He's not, how a girl, they could be a girl. Girls are good about this. They the worst about this. A female got more game than any dude ever had. A woman is the one who taught, your mama is who taught you your game. That's where you got your game from, is your mama. The women got the game. So a girl, they'll have a guy who like them, right? And she'll lead him on and play with him. But she'll never be with her. It's like a game or he a toy to her. And that's how Vladimir looking at President Trump, like he a toy. President Trump is the only thing that's keeping Vladimir above water, his head above water. Because the Europeans, they already labeled him a war criminal. Well, I guess you could say China. But if you could convince Chinese to turn against him, that's what President Trump over there doing. So you know what Vladimir do yesterday? He's still messing with President Trump here. He gonna go test a nuclear missile. Bro, listen, Don Trump, Fox News, somebody, y'all please. I gotta speak to some Republicans right now. I'm not pandering. I just want y'all to be able to see something. Please, y'all, please. Listen to me. This dude said he finna go. Don't forget what he said. If you name the world powers 5 years ago, if you name the world powers in 2019, if you said the strongest military in the world, bar none, number one is the United States of America. Number two, who would y'all have put number two? Be honest, y'all. Be honest. Because I'm saying Russia has fought in a lot of wars over the years. Their military has a lot of experience at fighting, almost as much as America's. Would you put the Chinese army as number two? The Chinese army hasn't been tested. What war have they been in? I'm saying, so y'all looking at these nations like they really can stand up to the United States, like they're really anything close to the United States. So we looking at Russia, we looking at Putin like, oh man, Putin said he finna go take Ukraine. How long it's gonna take Putin to take Ukraine? Ukraine, a much smaller nation. It used to be a part of the USSR or virtually a part of Russia, much smaller nation. So he said he finna go take Ukraine. Okay, so it's gonna take them 3 days, 72 hours. They got the number of hours it would count. That's how strong Putin is. He a big bad dog. Imagine when the United States went into Iraq, how long it took the United States to get to Baghdad in the First World War. Hold on. Just a second. I'm just demonstrating the point. I'm going to get to it. It's funny, bro. This dude, Kim Jong-un. Putin, you Kim Jong-un. Watch something. How long did it take the U.S. to defeat Iraq? First World War. First Desert Storm. That's not right, because the second was called what? Operation Iraqi Freedom or something like that. 100 hours. Vladimir, you wish your army was this strong, boy. This what he was trying to do. Vladimir was trying. Listen, y'all don't know. I'm telling y'all. The people who know, Vladimir got up and gave a very eloquent speech. Oh, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction, and the United States have upset the world order. The United States has made the world unsecure. We need new leaders in the world. After this war, he watched it. $100. Bro, before this war started, and I remember this, I was like 10 or 11 years old. Before this war started, they was talking about Iraq having a 1,000,000-man army. How many of y'all are old enough to remember that? We were supposed to be scared of Iraq. They had a 1,000,000-man, 100 hours. So I said all that to say that Putin, he remembers that, okay? I got Vladimir's number, dog. I could do this with any human if I've studied, not necessarily studied them, but I followed the news for these many years. So it's like my mind, I could just automatically tell you, like I know the dude, like he one of my homeboys. So everybody don't have this. I do though. So look, Vladimir, this what he doing, right? So Vladimir see America go 100 hours and take Baghdad, so he know he finna take Ukraine in 72 hours, less than 100. He got to do it better than the United States, because that's what they trying to do. They trying to take the top spot. America, the big dog on the block. Vladimir don't want that spot. So he's saying 100 hours, y'all. Come on now. 100 hours, I'm finna take Ukraine. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. And he was supposed to take Ukraine in 72 hours. America took, or Baghdad fell in that first Desert Storm in 100 hours. Ukraine and Zelensky, after 4 years, is still standing. Oh, that's an embarrassment. When you embarrassed to beyond in front of the whole world, you getting embarrassed. What can you do? What can you do? Keep fighting, fight harder, push harder, kill women and children. What else can you do? You completely embarrassed. So after seeing that, you know what Ghost know? Ghost know that Russian military. Number two, literally on the phone with Kim Jong-un getting soldiers. Literally. So after we see how weak he is, President Trump trying to be friends with a weakling. That dude, Russia does not have product. They weak. They soft. In the black neighborhoods, that's what we you soft, bruh. That boy, he blow Putin the kind of dude to blow smoke. You know them people that just be sitting there flapping like they tough, and then they gonna get beat up, they gonna get knocked out in one punch. Putin is they not what they used to be. Embarrassed. I won't be surprised if Putin tries another invasion after Ukraine to save face. Listen to me, Ghost knows these things. I wouldn't be surprised if within years after that Ukraine invasion ending, if he tries it again to save face. Because he got embarrassed. So his way out is President Trump. That's President Trump, his girlfriend. That's how he looking. I'm just you know them girls who do that. They be trying to you know what I'm saying? So here go Putin. Look, President Trump said hey, see, President Trump, you got to be smarter than the fifth grader. As soon as President Trump said he was finna give Ukraine tomahawks, what Putin did, he scared. That's the movements, people who scared. But say if a tomahawk was a BB gun. You think if a Tomahawk missile was a BB gun that Putin would have picked up the phone and called President Trump? No. Oh, the United States President Trump said, oh, we're going to give Ukraine 1 million BB guns to use in the war. That would have been all BB guns. BB guns. But he said he going to give them some Tomahawk missiles. Oh, they scared of them American weapons, boy. You know what he gonna do to him, to his military. He already been decimated. So he peeled President Trump. He on the phone with his girlfriend for 2.5 hours. Oh, big President Trump, I was thinking about letting you build a Trump Towers in Moscow. What you think? Oh, President Trump, you know, we got some Russian prostitutes. We got some Russian prostitutes for your President Trump. Oh, President Trump, he over there, he's shoo-shooing and foo-fooing. Because he don't want them Tomahawk missiles on his nose. And so he had started getting President Trump. He yelling at Zelensky, President Trump, what you doing? You scared? President Trump started yelling at Zelensky. What? I thought you was just finna give him Tomahawk missile. Now you screaming at him. After Putin call you, Putin playing you like a fiddle, boy. He playing you like a flute, like a violin. And not only he play, the whole world see it. The CNN reporters, Kaylin and them be asking you about it all the time, bro. He be trying shoo-shooing it. So, thank God for Marco Rubio. thank God for Scott B. Thank God for if Don Jr., whoever. Some people with some sense. And they said, nah, bruh, we ain't mean you nowhere. And we putting sanctions on you. So you know what he did, Kim Jong-un? If America messed up with North Korea, how many minutes you think it'll take the war? Y'all, I know. Cause they be looking at these countries like they something to fear. Like North Korea is something to fear. North Korea is not anything to fear at all, even with that nuclear weapon. If you know what you're doing, they ain't nothing to fear with that nuclear weapon. With that nuclear weapon, not with Ghost being president, they ain't nothing to fear. With that nuclear weapon, they're not. Now, Russia's something different. You can't do what with North Korea with what you could do with Russia because they got too many nuclear weapons. They got too many sites. I couldn't just strike one of the sites. You know what I'm saying? Like you could. I ain't even trying to speak on that. But if with North Korea, bro, you would like I'll take that nuke from you if that's how Ghost is. I'll take it from you if I wanted to, at will. One phone call. And I run Black Ops, ain't nobody ever know it ever happened. And your nuclear weapons just fall. You won't have none no more. You see what I'm saying? But you can't do that with Russia. And Putin knows that. So Putin out there acting like Kim Jong-un. I'm a blaster, I'm a shooter, man. Like, so President Trump, he think President Trump gonna get scared now. Oh, man. Putin finna use a nuke. That dude is not finna use no nuclear weapon, bro. He playing with you. Why would he? Why would Putin use a nuclear weapon when he know he gonna get destroyed within a couple hours? If Putin, I'm talking about, are you talking about a nuclear war? Who he gonna shoot a nuclear warhead into Ukraine? Putin gonna do that? China turn against him. There won't be a nation in the world that would support him using nuclear weapons against the Ukrainian people. Are we stupid? He finna jump off a cliff politically. So, Ghost, what he firing the nuclear, what he tested a nuclear warhead for? Kim Jong-un. That's what Kim Jong-un did. Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying? Ain't that what Kim Jong-un did? Then he start shooting. President Trump was calling him Rocket Man. He gonna start calling Putin Rocket Man. He the same thing. The boy is weak as, bro, he is soft. That boy is soft as a Twinkie feeling. He's soft, man. Y'all need some gangsters up there with y'all, man. You need to call the gang disciples up there with you, man. That boy is soft as a Twinkie feeling. He's soft. They're looking at Putin. They scared of Putin. He ain't nothing but like 5 foot. I'll pimp slap that dude 15 times backwards. I promise you, the only thing that could save him is his security. I put that on my mama. As somebody who know me for real in the last few years. The only thing, if me and Vladimir faced off, the only thing that could save him is security. I'll slap that boy cross-eyed. He'll lose his pin walk and everything, Vladimir. I'll get on your head top, boy, on everything. I ain't scared of you at all. Different kind of movement over here, boy. So Vladimir trying to scare President Trump because he put sanctions on him and he over there shooting rockets like Kim Jong-un. Vladimir, you the new Rocket Man, bro. Call him Rocket Man over there shooting missiles like you finna use them. Bro, you know the littlest dude in school or in class, y'all, that people pick on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The littlest dude in school, he got to be the loudest with the biggest mouth, and he got to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, say if you challenge somebody to a fist fight in the backyard at 3:30. Y'all remember that in high school? And all the girls come, everybody go show us, so y'all finna squabble in the backyard at 3:30. And dude show up with a gun. He ain't got no squabbles. He know he finna get knocked out. He's scared. That's what you do. You gotta protect yourself. I went against somebody 6'7", 340. Yeah, I'm gonna pull a weapon. That dude, I'm gonna hit him in the head with a rock. I'm David and Goliath. I got my slingshot. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit that giant in the head with a rock. Doink. You know what I'm saying? 6'7", 340, but I'm saying you fighting a dude who's small. Ukraine is much smaller than that. Much smaller. Used to be a part of them. That's what the beef come from. 4 years, you can't win. President Trump put sanctions on you and you're mad, and now you're acting like Kim Jong-un. Putin, bro, you could fool President Trump. You ain't fooling me. You not finna use one of them nuclear weapons, not one of them. You're not gonna do it. I know you not. I'm telling you, you not. You playing with President Trump because you could do that to him. That's what you think of him. Y'all seen Putin launch he test any nukes when President Obama was president? Did he test any when President Biden was president? Did he test any and during President Trump's first term? How many nukes he tested? So he testing a nuke now. Mother Russia sucks. They garbage. They trash. Your army is decimated. You finna go broke. You don't have no money. You soft. You weak. You ain't got no heart. Your soldiers getting killed like boy Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, the new Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man Vladimir. That boy try anything, bro, to try to. President Trump, he playing you, bro. He wouldn't play with me like that at all. I'll make a statement. President Trump, you remember in your first term, hold up. Let me get the news story. Somebody brought that up about Kim Jong-un, and I wanted to get that out real quick, y'all. I know we started talking about the Democrats, but you know this stream, that's what it is. It's viewer's choice. I told you. I'm going to get back down there in just a second. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this real quick. President Trump, first term, drops big bomb in Syria. If you guys didn't know, during President Trump's first term, he ain't the first president to have problems with Putin. This ain't the first term. He's been having problems. America has been having problems with Vladimir for the better part of 15 to 20 years, dating back previous. I mean, if you look at Russia in general, I mean, you go past Ronald Reagan and we've dealt with Russia. Go back to the Vietnam War during the Cold War. Listen, that's Soviet Union, Russia, same thing. Listen, this is what I'm saying. In 2017, on April the 7th, a day before my birthday, the United States launched 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles. Putin remember them Tomahawks. He's seen personally with his own eyes. Golly, we do not have no missiles like that, y'all. We have to show the Americans that we can have nuclear power missiles too, because them Tomahawks from the Mediterranean Sea into Syria. You see, Russia, it's another Cold War situation. Just like Ukraine is a Cold War situation. We have been fighting the Russians indirectly for I don't know how long. Communists. Okay? So the Tomahawk missiles was aimed at the Sharat air base controlled by the Syrian government. The strike was executed on the authority of U.S. President Donald Trump in response to a Kahan Shakhan chemical attack on April the 4th. So President Obama, he gave Putin red lines. He told him, or he gave Syria red lines. Assad, he used to be the leader of Syria, okay? One of those Middle East dictator dudes. He told him don't use this dude using chemical weapons on his own people, civilians, chemical weapons on civilians, his civilians. That's how crazy he is. He won't just step out of power. If that was me, I'm going to just step out of power. Golly, God must not want me to be president no more. I'm out of here. I'm going to fight the fight, but I'm not going to if it got to a point to where I had to start harming my own people, I don't care that much about this. I'm gone. I'm not going to harm my people, man. That's crazy. My people? That's ludicrous. But he would use chemical weapons against his people. He did it after President Obama told him. See, what's happening is the CIA, they must be seeing the Russian hardware and the Russian military train, and they coming back and they reporting to the U.S. presidents like Russia is something that they not. They weak and they soft. That's what they are. They soft and they weak. If you put a value on an American soldier, $10 being the highest, American soldier is worth 10. If you put a value on a Russian soldier, with $10 being the highest, a Russian soldier is worth $4.79. And a South Korean soldier is worth $3.71. Kim Jong-un, they ain't too far. I'm being facetious, but I'm just being real. They soft and weak. President Obama don't know this. So because Russia is back in Syria, President Obama allows, because they scared of Russia, they all weak, bro. You weak. Not saying President Obama weak, you making America look the mentality. They scared. We ain't gonna no war. You don't get in no world war. President Reagan never got in no war. He just know what he doing. He ain't scared. You got to show him that if he put a missile up, I'm going to put one up too. I probably wouldn't do that. I ain't going to try to look like Kim Jong-un. Like the Rocket Man shoot. Oh, he got the dictator. Y'all seen that movie, The Dictator? He out there with his wand pointing the missiles, bro. You look cheesy, bro. Super cheesy. So what ended up happening, y'all? So President Obama, he just let the Syrians use chemical weapons. He let Assad use chemical weapons against his people. President Trump told him not to do it. And when he did it, that's when President Trump we went at his nose. He got at his head. And guess what happened after that? You think Assad used chemical weapons? What you think Russia did? The American aggression. This American aggression will not be tolerated, but they didn't do nothing. When Trump first got, he came in, he wasn't playing. And he showed Putin he wasn't playing. And when Putin saw that he wasn't playing and he was different than Obama, oh, they best friends now. Cause he was scared of you at that time. He ain't scared of you no more. He your best friend now. Oh, me and Putin are really good friends. I'll have this day over in one day. You know what Putin's saying? Bro, I guarantee you. I don't know if y'all could get intelligence. Like, bro, they in a room laughing at you, bro. Bring the whores. With the Russian prostitutes, I'm serious. The dude he probably doing drugs and everything. I'm serious. He is not fit for that. Like, he not what you thinking. He just put that suit on in the daytime. At nighttime, he just a mobster. He a criminal. I know a criminal when I see one. I used to be one. He a criminal. So dude come out. He calling President Trump. He trying to sweet talk President T. President T ain't going for it, so he uses the nuclear missile launch. Because he know President Trump is so scared he's going to do it. He's going to launch a nuclear where he is not finna use no nuke. He's not. So that's my take on that. President Trump, you just got to keep the squeeze on him. If you let off on them, you going to look stupid. And Russia finna be ruling the world. That's what's going to happen. And Don, if Russia takes over, your chances of becoming president are slim to zero. Ain't no Republican, I promise you, the military ain't going to let that happen. because you're not fit to lead. We thought if America would get punked or get put in a compromising position, it would happen under a Democrat, not under a strong Donald Trump. He pandering to Vladimir. Like he's scared of Vladimir. He wasn't scared of him in 2017. The strike was the first unilateral military action by the United States targeting the civil Syrian government. Let's keep going. The Syrian Air Force launched attacks against the rebels from the base only hours after the American attack. Rebels. It was reported that advance warning was given to Russia, an ally of the Syrian government, by the U.S. prior to the missile strike. The United States stated it communicated with the Russian military to reduce Russian casualties. I know I read a story one time to where one of the Russians, that Sergio Lavio, I don't know if it was him, if he was in power at that time, but one of the Russians, like their leaders, they had came out and they were hot about that. They were mouth running, threatening the United States and all. But we see what happened. That's peace through strength. If you want to have peace, you got to look strong. Guys, I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I appreciate every last one of y'all. If y'all have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure y'all hit the notification bell. I got two of my moderators in here, Mr. Pizza Guy, Mr. Mike Huff, and also Titan Brew. Actually, I'm sorry, I got three of my moderators in here. If you guys, anybody want to donate to the channel, guys, I would love for one of you guys to become a channel member. $99. Just hit that button with the $ in it. Your donations are much appreciated. Also, super chat, super thanks, super stickers, they all start at 99 cents. Just hit the button with the $ in it. Titan Bruce says, I have to think Putin has dirt on Trump. And Trump doesn't want Putin to put it out in public. So Trump gonna suck up to keep the bad news on the DL. Maybe so. Maybe that's so. The ties are definitely there for it to happen like that. I don't know. I mean, I could see if you were saying it's a perfect storm, because you could look at it from an angle of, I could see President Obama. Did Putin have dirt on President Obama? President Obama was hesitant about dealing with Russia too. He was hesitant about dealing with Putin too. President Obama was too. So those nuclear weapons do make a difference. I can't say it made the whole difference, but that could be some of it. But I do think that those nuclear weapons, you hear what Pizza Guy says, he respected them. Those nuclear weapons, they do make a difference. Mike Huff says, we are so far beyond Russia when it comes to detection and Skynet tech. It is no contest. It's not. So why are you scared of them? Why are you scared of them? I know that. Mike Huff, you know that. You know what I'm saying? So why are you scared of them? Titan Bruce says fossil fuel products are 60% of Russia's economy. As long as China, Iran, and a few other countries keep buying Russian oil, then Russia can keep fighting. Not for long. That's what President Trump did. He went ahead and threw them sanctions on them. We working with China on that. Iran buying Russian oil. Iran is an OPEC company. Iran got their own oil. If they buy Russian oil too, I don't see how it could be a substantial amount to keep that war going. That money coming from China. Let's look. Biggest buyers of Russian oil. Biggest buyers of Russian oil. That money coming from China, y'all. Number one, China. Turkey, Germany, France, Poland, most of these nations have stopped. Russia's top Indian buyer, Reliance, says it will abide by Western sanctions. So the top buyer of Russian oil in India, you know what he said? This is news. I'm glad you said that. On the freestyle stream on Monday, yeah, 2 days ago, it was published by Reuters. Front page news. Reliance says that they gonna stop. New Delhi, Reliance Industries Ltd, the top buyer of Russian oil, the top Indian buyer of Russian oil, will abide by Russian sanctions against Moscow while maintaining its relationship with current oil suppliers. It's a billionaire who owned it. Mukesh Ambani, he's an Indian, which operates the world's biggest refining complex at Jamnagar in Western Gujarat state, has a long-term deal to buy nearly 500,000 barrels of crude oil from Russia oil major Rosneft. And that was one of the two companies President Trump put the sanctions on. Let's see. Might China respond to U.S. sanctions on Russia's biggest oil companies? China's a major buyer has been stockpiling reserves and may use intermediaries to navigate sanctions and secure discounted Russian crude. Them U.S. sanctions finna cripple Putin. Somebody must have told President Trump. Because see, what happens is when America puts sanctions on you and you're not abiding by American sanctions, another president, he might overlook. They know President Trump ain't overlooking nothing. That's the tariff king. He over there talking with China. That's what I would have done. All you got to do, bro, they know how much money you got in America. The whole world money hungry. All you got to do is put them dollars in their face and they going to do what you ask them. If they don't do what you ask them, you ain't put enough dollars in their face. Make some deals. You want the war to end? That's the only way it's going to end. Not only will the war end, you get to control Vladimir. You got every American president has had this problem. Ghosts won't have the problem. Who going Governor Newsom? If you or Don, if I wait till one of y'all win and let Ghost get up there with you and we going to get rid of this Russian problem for good. You just can't be scared. You can't be no chicken. You can't be no chicken. That man is not going to use no nuclear weapons. We've been worried about this since what? The 40s or the 50s? We worried about it in Vietnam. They aimed their missiles at us in Cuba and Ronald Reagan, John F. Kennedy. They ain't back down from nothing. What? You got your missiles aimed at us in Cuba? What? Boy, we finna wipe your little weak off the map. They not strong enough. The only thing that makes them a power is they have nuclear weapons. That's it. He got nuclear weapons that he's not going to use. Do y'all understand that? The man has nuclear weapons that he is not about to use. He's not going to use them nukes. He ain't finna use them. I'm telling you what I know. It's not going to happen. Putin, he want to keep with them Russian models, and that man got a good life. He living better than you, way better. He live better than Elon. He probably got more money than Elon. What was I finna look up? Bro, I could tell, I know what I'm talking about, bro. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Putin's mansion. Putin's secret mansion. Secret mansion. Hold on. Vladimir Putin's secret mansion, often referred to as Putin's palace, is a lavish estate located on the Black Sea, surrounded by controversy and allegations of corruption. Vladimir Putin's palace in Russia 17,000 square meters. He didn't have it before he became president of Russia. He was a normal KGB operative, probably making about $150 a week in US dollars before he became the power in Russia. Now he's sitting on 17,000 square feet. And how big is Diddy? Bigger than Diddy's. The estate features luxurious amenities, a large indoor swimming pool, a spa, and a cinema. He got a hookah bar and a stripper pole. This is Vladimir, his house. He got a hookah bar and a stripper pole. You get the point? You want me to break it all the way down for you? Why would I use it? Dudes like him don't use nukes. The only reason he probably still the president is the KGB probably making him do it. Making him. He probably could care less. Y'all see that donation, that Rubio? Thank you for that donation. If you guys want to donate to the channel, go ahead, hit the button with the $sign in it. Your donations are much appreciated. Vladimir, bro, I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Someone who using a nuke, they suicidal. Using it against America, you suicidal. America got more nukes than you. America got more money than you. They got more expertise than you. They stronger than you. They everything than you. So you use a nuke against America, you're going to get demolished, wiped off the map. He knows that. All of humanity can cease to exist. The potential, the end of the world. Bro, I promise you, Vladimir is not about to use no nuclear weapon. Dude, you got a 17. Listen, those Muslims who killing themselves, you know, Bin Laden ain't never killed himself. Bin Laden was worth 200 million. See, Ghost could see through all the fodder and the BS. I could see to what it is. Bin Laden was worth 200 million. When they ran into Bin Laden's house, he had pornos. They believe in having 15 wives. They be marrying 14-year-olds. These dudes are bigger perverse than Jeffrey Epstein. Their pervertedness is legal. You ain't finna investigate Pooh for sleeping with 15-year-olds. If he want a 15-year-old, he just gonna go get him one. And who gonna say something? You write a story about it, you gonna die. It ain't funny, but it's true. So you think Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal? I don't believe that. Maybe in prison he was, but outside of prison, no one would ever think that he was suicidal. This dude ain't either. Those Muslims, to get back to what I'm saying, Bin Laden worth 200 million. He wasn't finna kill himself. He like me and you. There's value in his life. If you worth $1 million as a Muslim, you're not finna kamikaze nothing. I can promise you that. But it's just like in America. They'll find the Muslims who don't have nothing. They don't have no hope. They poor, and they radicalize them. Oh, you're going to be able to get 15 virgins, 77 virgins. And that boy know as soon as that plane crash and the fire burn him, he going to be forever burning in that fire. When he die and he become conscious in the dream world or the next world or whatever y'all want to call it, he going to still be in that fire. And he going to be like that for the rest of his consciousness, which from my understanding is eternity. In that fire, finna get 77 virgins. These people are so wild. So, bro, this man Putin got 17,000 meter house, multiple guest houses. This ain't the presidential mansion. This just his little secret mansion. This is where he go to do his little Russian whoredoms. multiple guest houses, a greenhouse. Ain't no telling what's in there. That's probably where they in there doing their drugs, the cocaine and stuff. Y'all don't know. Ghosts know. That's where they doing the cocaine and stuff. The greenhouse, a helipad. He got a casino, large indoor swimming pool, cinema, theme rooms, hookah bar, and a stripper pole. This dude's not trying to die. Launching that nuke is a suicide thing. I would think Bin Laden would be closer to Kim Jong-un. He would be closer to it, but I don't think he will because the leaders are rich. They just be threatening and blowing smoke, and they think the Americans are soft and weak. That's what's going on. Daniel says Putin ain't going to be around forever. He shouldn't be around right now. He's been president of Russia for too long. Titan says gonna find an open window. I don't know what an open window for. He ain't finna find no open window though, Titan. He ain't gonna do that. He gonna stay there and fight. Why would he kill himself? That's the same thing as him launching a nuke. He ain't finna launching a nuke is almost death by suicide because you gonna get hit with a nuke. If you launch a nuke, you probably gonna end up getting hit with a nuke if America's involved. So that's like death by. So I'm saying he ain't gonna kill himself either. Why? Well, dude, I get more than he. Y'all think you know what Putin said? He said, "Oh, y'all think P. Diddy had sex parties? You need to come to our Putin sex party." Hey, I was gonna move closer. Y'all get in the position, but I don't want the to get too grainy on us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like Putin, he ain't finna kill himself. What he gonna kill himself for? He ain't gonna kill himself and he ain't gonna launch no nuke. I can promise you them two things. He love living too much. People who enjoy life or love life, they're not gonna kill themselves. What for? He ain't gonna launch no nuke because a nuke is suicide. He just scaring y'all. Y'all just scary. Just scary. Oh, if they write a bad story about if you a Russian, I'll write a bad story about Putin every day. I ain't finna find no window. The window I'ma look for gonna have some Russians in it. I'm King Von, boy. You could get me, but I'ma go out like a G. I swear. A man who killed himself, he is a weak coward. He's a characterless coward. The fight got too strong for him. The fight will never get too strong for me. It does. I get burned down just like King David. Jesus did. Jesus did. He asked God to take it away from him. Jesus wasn't trying to do what God was trying to get him to do. He asked God to take the cup from him. Tell me why I'm wrong. Why would you ask God to take the cup from him if you're trying to do it? Everybody gets bogged down, but I'm saying I'm not weak like that. It ain't no sense, Titan Brew, to kill yourself if you stronger than your opponent. You just gotta wait for the tide to turn. You gotta understand how warfare works. Ghost is very well versed on anything you could talk. I understand warfare. I understand battles. They almost like life. That tide will turn on you, boy. The momentum will turn on you. It's just like a fight. You could be in a fight. Muhammad Ali in a fight, of course, he doing a rope-a-dope, so he doing it on purpose. Where he just standing there taking the licks and tiring out his opponents. But if you don't know about the rope-a-dope or know what Muhammad Ali is doing, but then you think he out the fight, he finna commit suicide. No, he finna knock your teeth down your throat. You say, Ghost, what you mean? That's the same. I mean, I would like a fighter, man. A fighter, they ain't finna kill themselves. He ain't gonna kill himself, man. He like living too much. And I will say he is a warrior to a certain extent, just like Zelensky is. So I can't see him ever killing himself type, bro. He a fighter, he gonna try to kill you. That's what fighters do. He gonna try to kill you. He ain't gonna kill himself. Even the Muslims, when they were killing themselves, they were killing other people too. It's just that Bin Laden, he didn't sucker the dude into doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If Russians write bad stories about Putin, they don't survive too long. They not from what I heard, not from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about Russian? Yeah, Russian. They do. CC Green Media said, "Wow, I don't know what you wowing about. That everything we saying is facts. Russian. Yeah, they do. And it's hard to defeat the state in there. You just got to go out like a G. That's all you could do. When they come to get you, I'm going to try to kill one of them at least. The first attempt, I got to do it better, like Tupac, better than that. You know what I'm saying? The first round of people they send at me, I got to get one of them. I'm going to kill one of them. I'm going to kill that first round. Hey, I ain't going to be like all the other journalists. The first round of people they send at me, I'm going to kill somebody in that first round. Guarantee you. You're going to have to come at me 2 or 3 or 4 times. I'm going to kill some of them. Real talk. But man, that's my time. It's been almost 2 hours, man. We had too much fun in here today. Like I started off talking about the Democrats. I'm going to talk about that more as the week go on. You know what I'm saying? If you guys go look at the story, I'll just go over it right now. I've never done this before, but I'll just do it right now for you guys. If y'all going to come check in with me or tap in with me later on in the week. So we weren't supposed to be live today. This is a freestyle stream, so that's why I didn't have no news story, and we kind of was talking a little bit everywhere because, you know, I try to do that every now and then. I jump down in the comments and like try to do most of the stream from the comments, talking with you guys what y'all want to talk about. What we're talking about tomorrow, scheduled for Tuesday, is the Trump doctrine in pursuit of global peace. And a lot of people don't understand me as an independent, or, you know what I'm saying, if I like thinking that I have something against President Trump or I'm for President Trump. It's none of the above. I'm for America, and he's the president. I never supported or voted for him. Not saying that I can't support him. I'm saying I'm not getting paid to support him. And like a lot of economic policies and other policies that they have, I don't agree with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think to this point that he's doing a good enough job on the economy, or he's not speaking on the problems and the issues the American people are having. But that's not what we're talking about tomorrow. We're talking about the Trump doctrine, which is his foreign policy. The Trump doctrine is global peace. That right there, you can't hate on. Republican, independent, Democrat, it don't matter what you are. He has been in a strong pursuit of global peace. You say, Ghost, what about the American aircraft carrier group that's going to the Caribbean and those Venezuelan boats that he's blowing to smithereens? All I could say about that, if you ask him, those are domestic problems. He calling them narco-terrorists. He's talking about the 300,000 Americans that are on the American homeland that are taking drugs and being killed by these drugs. So what he's doing in the Caribbean, in my opinion, I don't disagree with none of it. Like, he's trying to fix a problem. Okay, we tried the war on drugs, that didn't work. We tried to talk, that didn't work. That didn't work. We tried, that didn't work. We tried, that didn't work. So he's just trying a different way, blowing the smithereens. The Venezuelan president is a drug dealer. Yeah, he a drug dealer. The president. One of their major industries, if not their number one industry, is the sale of narcotics. That's killing Americans. Drug dealer. They got a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Miss Maria Machado. The white President Trump, bruh, 2 hours I've been streaming, and I'm finna say something so important. If you a Republican, or if you a MAGA person, or if you just a regular person just to listen to it. The way President Trump addresses these problems, it's like he's not thinking it through. Listen, if I'm going against Venezuela, there was just a Nobel Peace Prize winner in Venezuela, Miss Maria Machado. So what I'm going to say is, instead of me focusing on me should have won the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, y'all, you can have that conversation if you want to. Just not right now. Right now, what we talking about is that you were trying to go after Venezuela or you see what I'm saying? So the pushback he's going to get, which that's probably the problem, that he don't care about the pushback. The pushback that he's going to get from Democrats and from some Republicans, all he had to do was start off instead of, look, okay, before I blow one boat out the water, I'm going to say, okay, we got a problem in Venezuela with the president and narco-terrorism. Okay, PSF, he did all of that. After I do that, what number two thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do this. Hey, y'all, the Nobel Peace Prize, Miss Maria Machado, she fighting for the rights of Venezuelans and for the Venezuelan people. The president won a fake election in July, the Venezuelan president. He's not a real president. He wasn't truly elected by the people. The Venezuelan president, he won a fake election in July, y'all, and we have a Venezuelan fighting for the rights of the people, so we just gonna support her. They say, President Trump, you trying to do regime change if necessary? I don't care. I'm saying you got leaders in government. I'm saying you saying it could fall apart and it could become a problem. I don't think it's going to be like that on the Western Hemisphere. But I'm saying all you got to do is just put the pieces in place and prepare for it. You got to do the work. But other than the Caribbean and Venezuela, what can you say about President Trump around the world with the Trump doctrine in pursuit of peace around the world? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, guys. You know what I'm saying? It probably will be a pretty good stream in context with President Trump. On Wednesday, Mandami. Hey, bro, I got a dance for Mandami. Where you at, Zoran? You feel me? Hey, you know he only 30-something. Hey, where you at, Zoran? Hey, your boy Big Ghost finna pop up in NYC, y'all. We got my boy Zoran. That's the Mandami dance, guys. New York City, y'all, we got a new dance coming. It's the Mandami. Bro, Mandami is a transformational candidate, man. I like that boy. I like how he talk. I like how he walk. I like his swag. They ask all the candidates on stage if they smoke marijuana, and Chris Cuomo says, oh, no. Hey, Curtis Silva. Bro, I like Curtis Silva too, bro. He the coolest thing walking, bro. That boy funny. He cool and everything. Curtis Silva said, nah, I don't think I forgot. I think he said no, but Mandami was yes, recreationally. Hey, that's what we need, just regular people in America. So Mandami is proof that Sanders and AOC is poised to take over the Democratic Party. I think we passed them taking over, or poised to. They're in the process of. The Democratic Party is going to be progressive primarily. come about 4 years. That's my opinion. And I think that Governor Newsom or AOC will definitely be on that ticket. So that's what we're talking about tomorrow. I started talking about that today. We're going to finish that tomorrow. But then on Thursday, we're going to talk about Prop 50. So if you guys don't know about Prop 50, the Texas, they redistrict. I called it cheating, but they redrew the lines to allow Republicans to win more seats. They're doing it in 3 other states, or attempting to, or already have across America. And then so California is having a vote to even the score, fighting fire with fire. If the Republicans redistrict, we gonna redistrict. But in California, they got a vote on it to do it. Okay? They trying to get those seats back, even up the score. Let's talk Prop 50. Governor Newsom and President Obama pushing California. They pushing California and the California voters. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. And then on Friday, President Trump, I think on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday, President Trump is meeting with President Xi Jinping. I don't mean no disrespect, but President Trump is meeting with Xi or Chi or Z or G. He meet with Chi, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna try to work out some business. They're going to try to work out some business for America, the Clash of the Titans. Scott B, though, all jokes aside, he said that he announced the framework for a trade deal was done with China. So, let me do this real quick. What time is it? It's been 2 hours, y'all. I'm finna get out of here in just a sec. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock out here on the East Coast, y'all. So let's look and see if the stock market has opened up yet. And if it has, I hadn't looked at this yet, but if you ask Big Ghost Rider, we are up 472 points in the stock market. 47,000. The Dow Jones Index is at 47. It never touched 46. It's at 47. President Trump might get it to 48 or 49. I wouldn't be surprised if it touched 50. Y'all remember I told you it was going to go to 46. It never been to 46 before. Dow Jones Index, 46,000 points. You know what I'm saying? So one of those streams, actually, guys, I just hate to do this, though, because President Trump is looking at this stock market, and this stock market is absolutely amazing. He's there's a lot of millionaires being created off of this. But you got to have the money to invest. If you were lower middle class and you got $30,000 sitting in the bank, there's no way you should not be putting your money in the stock market. If you are a lower class, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be middle class, and you got $5,000 or $10,000 sitting around. There is no reason you shouldn't have money in the stock market right now. All I see is green and green and more green. And just like I thought, you go overseas and say that I got a trade deal with China. You know what the investors gonna do? Him and Scott B found out a trick. They found a little trick. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, when President Trump first started his tariffs, I was like, man, you need to keep on announcing trade deals. Just keep announcing trade deals. Keep announcing deals. Framework, deal. And sure enough, the stock market turned around and they start jumping up. President Trump, we could walk into the golden age, but we can't. I want to walk the walk with you, but I can't. Because people in America are hurting. So we have to figure out, or he has to figure out with this economy, things that he ain't never seen before. to where that job market could look like all the other stuff look the way it do, but the investors, they still buying, selling, and giving in trade more than they ever have before. Buying, selling, and giving in trade more than they ever have before. And the stock market look real good. Record good. But I'm saying President Trump gonna have to figure out to make that work for everybody. It's gotta work for all of us. All Americans, man. If it's not working for all of us, you know what I'm saying? It's gotta work for us all, man. And there's a lot of Americans that are hurting. It's a lot of Americans who get money, but that's a lot of Americans who are hurting. So I imagine on Saturday or one day next week, we're going to get to the economics when President Trump come back. But if I was him, I wouldn't stop doing what he's doing. It might all come crashing and burning down in the end, but I'm saying, what else is he going to do? You could create jobs. If we shedding jobs, you got to figure out how to stop shedding jobs. Maybe they got it figured out. Maybe they like, Ghost, this going to last for 6 months. 6 months after this is going to turn around, start jumping. I don't know. But I'm saying for today, the cost of living on day one, it hadn't went lower. I would address these things if I was President Trump. When I come home, are y'all listening? Are y'all listening? When I come home, if I was President Trump, I need to be somebody's advisor, bro. I promise you. Wait, Don, at Don, when your daddy come home, hey, Don, when your daddy come home, you need to tell him to have a summit on the economy, to do a large speech on the economy. He needs to do that. At least he can show the American people that he is interested in their pain. Because he made a promise to them. He needs to show the American people that he is interested or he cares about what they're going through. Because if you don't, man, Dami talking about what they're going through. President Trump, if you don't want to talk about it, AOC talking about what they're going through. Bernie Sanders talking about, and them 1,000 people, why y'all establishment are focused on American business, which that's what you're supposed to be doing. Those progressive candidates are going to be talking directly to those voters who are feeling pain, who don't have a shot at the American dream no more. Homeless, people struggling. I'm talking about you telling people to go get a job. Ain't no, bro, you know what the median, bro, I'm going to do a stream. When I do the stream, the median house price in Connecticut. Some people will never be able to afford a $600,000 house. Never. So you making that unattainable for all Americans. You got to figure how to turn that around. VP Harris was addressing that. He was too on a campaign. What I'm saying, he isn't now. And what I'm saying is he needs to add, even if he don't have no new policy to announce, the American people, when he finish overseas, that's beautiful. You are helping the world, global peace, world economy, stock market, yada, yada. When you come home to the American people, if you want to stay in power, I'm saying you got to address the American people problem. It's only right. You promised that you're going to fix this stuff in 72 hours anyway, or 72 hours. That's Putin's time. Oh, Kim Jong-un. Putin, I'm going to call you Kim Jong-un the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. Look, hey, look, so he said he going to fix the U.S. economy in the cost of living in the first day, 24 hours. Well, it's been almost, we looking at what, we going into November? He took over in January. You almost the whole calendar. You almost walked down the whole calendar year. We finna be in 2020. Y'all think about this. This in a little over 60 days, it'll be 2026. 60 days. Nobody ain't gonna want to hear about 2025, bro, 2024, because you've been president for a full calendar. So I'm saying, President Trump, if you know that within 6 months you think the job market, everything gonna touch the sky. If that's gonna happen, or you know that, President T, or you believe that, I think you need to come out and tell the American people, because they're wondering what's going on. The American people like, we struggling. They buying, they selling, they giving in trade, and we struggling. And you told us you was going to help us in 24 hours. We've been waiting on you 11 months. Ghost waited the whole 11 months because I got 20 racks. So I can't come on here and hate on him per se, because, you know, the U.S. Treasury, I mean, I got $20,000. But I'm saying, you trying to live out there for the whole year, 20,000 in 2025? Nah, bro, that's not enough money. The American people need help. The American government, thank you, President Trump. We doing good. Rich nation, yeah, congratulations, good job. You spreading the wealth across the world, good job. World peace, good job. What about the American people? The day one price lowering. People want to afford a house. President Trump talking about lowering interest rate. An interest rate ain't going to stop a house from being $600,000 in Connecticut that ain't nobody can afford. Right or wrong? I see somebody gave that donation right quick, y'all. Let me get that comment on that donation, man. I just be trying to tell it like it is, man. Real talk. This ain't, they look at it like I heard somebody say, so they say, bro, ain't nobody, I ain't got no clout for President Trump, no clout against President Trump. This ain't nothing like that. Brian C says Trump. Brian C, thank you for that $2 donation. And yeah, Brian C, that stock market at 47,000. Dow Jones. If you got some money, bro, I promise you, you need to be investing. President Trump, that's another thing y'all need to be doing. You need to be trying to create more millionaires in America. If you got 8 million millionaires, you need to draw that number to 15 million. And that way you could come and say, hey, Ghost, see what I told you? You talking about trickle down economics. Look at it, Ghost. I gave a tax break to Elon and them, and it trickled down to the millionaires. And from them millionaires, Ghost, we doubled the number of millionaires in America, and it trickled down again. That's what you need to be doing. If I was President Trump, that's what I would be doing. I would be letting people know. Communication. So I think that's like number one thing, Brian C, that he needs to be working on. Number one, when I come home, not this weekend, he probably gonna be working this weekend. He need to chill. That's the problem. He 80 years old. You working that man too hard. He really need to be chilling. Get his composure. Too much stuff on the table. He could get back. So when he come home next week, I would do one day next week. Scott B ain't gonna do it, President Trump. You need to do it. You need to get out there somewhere, Michigan, one of them states where some business, something going on. You need to get out there and you need to do a major address to the American people on the economy. If it was me doing it and I did it from the Oval Office, I'd do it at like 8 or 9 p.m. I address the whole nation on the American economy. If it's going to be 6 months before they see the results, come out and tell them. He was doing that at first. He was talking about short-term pain in the stock market. But they figured it out. Oh, they manipulating the stock market. Who cares? Go over there announcing fake trade deals. Who cares? If you could create twice as many millionaires in America, who cares? If you could feed the poor, if you could help the homeless, who cares? The 47,000 points on the stock market, that helps a lot of Americans, definitely. 10,000%. It helps so many Americans, I promise you. So many. I mean, anybody could put money in the stock market. Not only that, the 401ks too. So you got to think about people's 401ks. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if you got money, what's that? NASDAQ, S&P 500, your 401k, bro, it's looking real good. But I'm saying, like, you got to be able, Brian, so you got to be able to address other problems that Americans are having. Median price here in Naples, Florida is $550K. You see what Titan Bruce said? Who can afford a $550,000 house? That's stuff he needs to be addressing. If home ownership is only an option for the rich now, then what you gonna do about the rest of the Americans who need housing? You need new solutions. And Brian C., I hate to say this, my brother, but what I'm telling you is that if the progressives, they're coming up, and everything that they talk about, they're not talking about Russia, they're not talking about China, they're not talking about Israel. They talking about the cost of living. That's all Mandami talks about. He'll pander and start talking about Chris Cuomo, who trying to knock him off his spot about being a Muslim. But I'm saying 99%, and they got 1,000 candidates who going to be running in races all over America. And all they going to be doing is talking about economic issues. So, Brian C., what I'm trying to say, my brother, that is if these prices are not lower, if median house prices are $550,000 and President Trump isn't addressing it, or he's not doing nothing about it, how can the progressives not win? They doing the same thing that President Trump did when he won. But Brian C., if y'all know something, if you know that the economy is finna hit the roof in 6 months, the stock market did. But the jobs, not so much. Cost of living, not so much. Cutting. This is what I'm saying, Brian C. On November the 1st, all the Democrats got to do really is fall back. Just fall back a little bit. And then when people get on the 1st of November, people get their premiums and see their health insurance went up $1,500. Brian C., you think they're going to be happy or upset? That's what I'm saying. If I knew that this was going to get addressed, or if I knew that this was going to get addressed, what I'm saying is that I would come out and communicate that to American people. Hey, y'all, give me 6 months. And the hiring going to be going through the roof. It's going to be going crazy. We're going to be hiring 200,000-300,000 people every couple months, Ghost. Just give me a little bit of time. I'm saying come out and address the American people. That's what I'm saying. Crystal says, did I get richer? I didn't get richer. I was just giving money to survive off of. It's not President Trump's job to take care of me. If he wants to, he can. I'm not going to complain. It's not his job to take care of me. But what I'm saying is you got to provide the resources for the American people. You got to provide the resources. If I got 2 candidates to choose from, and VP Harris, she going to provide them. Who you think the people going? You got all the rich people vote for you, and the newly rich people, and you got 29%. And then you sprinkle in some Republicans, but you talking about how many people can afford a $600,000 house? Bro, I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi. A $600,000 house, you rich. A $600,000 house is just an average house in Connecticut. It ain't nothing special. A $600,000 house in Mississippi, you balling. A $600,000 house in Connecticut is just a regular house. That's the average price of a house. A dude told me he works at a hedge fund. He makes six figures here in Connecticut. And he live in 1,000 square foot house. Listen to me. How many of y'all live in apartments that's more than 1,000 square foot? He paying $2,000 house note. Finance, not rent. You know they inflate the price of rent. So the value of that property is probably less than 2,000. But just say it's 2,000. It's $2,000 a month. What he paying? What I'm saying, if you was trying to rent that same property, you probably would be paying like 3,000, right? You would think so. 1,000 square feet. He paying 2,000 rent. To buy, not to rent. You can't afford that. One man needs 300. Rather be flying says, why does one man need $300,000? That's a great question. That is a absolutely great question. President Trump and them don't believe in billionaires coughing it up, though. That's not what they believe in. And I'm not hating on President T. I'm not hating on him at all. That's his style. That's his whatever. Just results as long as it works. What I'm saying, Brian C., right now today, economics isn't working for the majority of Americans. And as a disabled veteran, I know it's not working for people with disabilities who depending on Social Security. It's not working for a lot of veterans as well. So I'm going to speak up on that. Hey, President Trump! President Trump! We need help over here, man. If you listen to the voice of the people, you win and you become great. He been listening a lot and he been winning a lot. If you don't listen to the voice of the people, well, they gonna go cry to AOC and she gonna listen and she'll end up being your next president. Just like what happened with Barack Obama. And when Obama became president, they was like, how did that happen? A black man, really Democrats? You just could have picked a Democrat, not a black man. Make America great again. See, that's what happened. And it's going to swing like that again. It's going to swing hard to the left. I'm saying somebody could come to you and tell you that this going to happen. They're listening. That's a good job. You tune into the right network. They listening to some real intelligence. So they listening. Oh yeah, the Democrats, that's what they did last time. Man, Ghost, know what he talking about. Hey, Governor Abbott, give me 5 seats in Texas. Hey, President Trump, that's not how you do it, man. I know you're trying to protect yourself, and that's fine. Do that too. If that's what you feel like you need to do, Governor Newsom and them, and just let the people or God decide, or politics, however it get decided. But what I'm saying is you made a promise to help lower the cost on day one, and it hasn't been completed. You hadn't completed a few promises, and people are struggling. So that's all I'm saying, Brian. See, if he knows that it's not going to be fixed, but goes give my policy 6 months to work, whatever it is, come out and tell the American people so they'll know. Otherwise, I'm telling you what's going to happen. That pendulum is already starting to swing back that other direction. So how far left it goes is going to depend on you, President Trump. The next Republican that come, Don or JD or Marco or whoever, you're not going to be able to blame nobody but yourself. That's it. And when that pendulum swing back, AOC waiting for it. They already got the structure set up to take over. Who knows? Gavin Newsom might be the president, but AOC is running things. Bernie Sanders made her the HNIC. So when this pendulum swing back to the progressives and AOC grab that ball, I'm trying to tell you, listen to Mandami. All she talking about, you're not going to be able to beat that. If your economics or your policies are not fixed, all she's talking about is helping the people. You're not going to be able to beat that. If people are poor, you got to listen. So AI anyway, bro, I just think we're going to get a Democrat. I think that Democrat going to be kind of socialist. And I think that's what's, and then I think that's what's going to happen. Because when you get AI to start taking all of people's jobs, what the people gonna do now? Your unemployment rate gonna be at 20%, and your stock market, your Dow Jones index gonna be at 55,000 points, and you're gonna be 45 trillion in debt, and 20% unemployment. That means your crime way up. AI done took the working man's job. So now you got a bunch of people, just like in China, who the government just gonna have to give them checks. You got a plan for that. That's part of your economy. I think that's what we starting to see in the world. The AI ain't taking a whole lot of jobs, but I'm thinking that stock market being high while people ain't that. I mean, it didn't used to work like that in America. But it is now. It's like the rich people then separated themselves from the rest of America, or the people with money. It's gonna have to take that stock market to get slammed in order for, because as long as it looks like that, people, it's in the green. If it's in the green, you finna get paid, right? So if it's in the green, just keep dumping money into it. You keep getting paid. Just like at the casino, it's gambling. So that machine paying, as long as you feed that machine, you going to get paid. Why would they stop feeding the machine? And as long as you feed the machine, it's going to keep getting greener. And that's what's happening with the stock market. And it's like it's completely disconnected with the rest of the economy. America's sharing job for the first time in 4 some years. Oh, good. Stock market don't care. That's what I'm saying. You're going to get, it's going to become a gap between regular Americans and rich Americans. The gap, it's a gap. And the gap's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, you'll mess around and think that everybody in America is doing good when that's not happening. The rich are getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And all you doing, you about to make AOC or Gavin Newsom the 48th president of the United States. That's my time, man. I love y'all, bro. I ain't got nothing against AOC. She fight for the people. That's facts. President Trump, if your economy was good, then nobody would care. I mean, she fighting for the people, but you got good economy, but you talking about people already struggling and their health premiums about to go up. What? What the health premiums finna go up? $1,000? So they got to choose between paying a light bill or paying a health insurance bill. And these people working, 2 families. Both parents working. And they got to choose between paying the health insurance or paying the light bill this month. So what's going to happen when they go vote? And you got this candidate, she talking, oh, they trying to do this. What I'm going to do for you is, you're not going to be able to beat that. I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger, y'all. I'm going to close with this. Republican governor of California, he said the incumbent party on average loses between 25 and 30 seats. So, Brian C., if you redistrict 19 seats, what Arnold Schwarzenegger was saying, while he's against Prop 50, he said if you redistrict 19 seats, he said the Democrats, they just won't have a 10-seat majority, they'll have a 1-seat majority. But he's saying you redistrict or not, if your policy's bad, the incumbent party, they're not going to control the House no more. And President Trump, Gavin Newsom said yesterday, if President Trump loses the House of Representatives, that Congress, they gonna be, y'all remember what happened? Y'all remember what happened last time? It's not gonna be pretty. That's why President Trump trying to keep the House. Well, if you trying to keep the House, Ghost, it's too early, Ghost. We gonna wait till next July, next summer before the election, and we gonna give everybody rebate checks. Hey, Ghost, it's too early. We know what we gonna do. We gonna wait till the economy gonna start looking better next spring. We set it up like that. And then next July, we gonna give everybody rebate checks before it's voting time so they could vote Republican. He ain't say that, y'all. I'm just talking, man. That's just off the top of the. I ain't heard nobody that from nobody. So he didn't say. So I'm just talking, y'all. That's my time, man. I love y'all, man. Every last one of y'all, man. I'm a Christian, bro. I believe in God. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross for my sins. I believe His sacrifice on the cross paid for all of my sins that I ever will commit. I asked Him to save my soul from hell. I told Him I asked for forgiveness of my sins, and I told Him I believed in the blood of Jesus as the payment for my sins, and I believe He saved me. I ain't perfect. Your preacher ain't perfect either. He just wants you to believe that. He lying to you. Go see everything. Your mama ain't perfect, your preacher ain't perfect, your parents ain't perfect, and you ain't perfect either. Ain't nobody perfect. That's why I got Jesus. I don't have to be perfect. My Savior, He is, though. Whenever a problem bigger than me, I know somebody who bigger than me in that problem. It's God. I take that problem and I sit it down at the foot of Jesus. I get up and I walk away. I'm forever thankful. I'm thankful right now today. God knows that's not no lie. God knows that's not no banter. God knows I'm not capping. God knows that's my heart. I'm thankful right now today. Every day I wake up, bruh, first thing I say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. We back tomorrow, y'all, with the news, Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern. We starting out talking about President Trump and him running around the world making peace. We're going to talk about the progressives taking over the Democrat Party on Wednesday. On Thursday, we talking about Prop 50. That's important for Republicans, too. Because if California do that redistricting stuff, I'm saying it's on and popping. You know the Democrats going to win the House. And maybe the Senate, too, if they do it right. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about President Trump's meeting with Xi Jinping and his the trade deal that they come up with. So from that Friday, we might go into Saturday and look at that stock market. That stock market might hit 48,000 by Saturday. Who told y'all that first? Who told you it was gonna hit 46,000? I'm telling you, it might hit for that. Might hit 48,000 by Saturday. President Trump, if you know what you're doing now. When your first thing, you need to double. If y'all preaching trickle down economics, you started with Bezos and Elon and Bill Gates and all them tax breaks you gave to the super rich. I need to see that trickle. So the step below the super rich is the upper middle class millionaires. It's 8.8 million of them. Your goal is to need to have 15 million millionaires in America. We seen it trickle. And if the money go from there to here, then the millionaires, they're going to create wealth for people. But that's trickle down economics. I believe in it if I see it work. I never seen it work. We talking about it, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, right here at the same time, same place.